All right, today I want to do a little bit of Lowrance waypoint management and what I do to kind of keep everything organized. So first we're going to start off with fish. You can see right here I got largemouth, that's green. Smallmouth I mark as that red color. And then this teal, that one is spotted bass if you're in an area that has that. So say I'm going down the bank or out in this long point here and I get a bite. I'm going to hit the flag here. It's going to bring up this icon. So if you hit it just right away, it's going to make it blue. But if you would have clicked on it and dropped it as a waypoint, you can hit more options and you can make it smallmouth, largemouth, or spot. I also will actually go in at times if it's in the past, like so say I was here in this one marked from September 25th, 24. Say it's in the future. So say I'm fishing here in 2026. If I don't want to kind of mix up everything, I might even go in there and I'll turn them all to pink. If you had a lot of waypoints here, maybe you're fishing some grass, and you're trying to grid something out. It's just kind of a way to keep it organized and cleaner. But if you want to change this, again, sometimes I'll mark a waypoint just even actually in that blue as well. And that'll be a tournament fish that I know I caught. These ones I caught in practice. Blue is the day of the tournament. Maybe I'm not taking the time to change the color of it. You might go back later on and do it, but it's a good way to do it. So another thing I do as I mark these fish, so say right there, that was a smallmouth. I'm not actually going to write smallmouth each time, but I might take the time to write the note. So say it was a 4 1/4. I weighed this fish. So I know that's a good quality fish maybe for the lake I'm fishing at. And I'm going to put just a quick note in there about what I caught it on. So say it was a chatterbait. So I'll write chatter and then maybe green pumpkin. Just so I know what I got that bite on, what they were keying in on. And then I can zoom in, I can go back to it, click on it. If I was in the water, it actually display the depth of it too, which can be helpful for coming back years later. So that's good information I feel like to share with you for kind of keying in on different ways of catching fish. So a lot of times I'll grid this out. I put a lot of waypoints and I really do think it helps a lot to take a lot of notes in there because it's almost like an Excel logbook I used to do. Or maybe you write all your notes down and it kind of just keeps you organized. Gives you some information if you come back year after year to the same lake, or maybe it's a lake you don't go to too often. And then I'm going to export all these waypoints each time. That can be found in another video I've done if you go to my Lowrance playlist. Some other waypoints that I use. So let's see. Let's say there was, maybe there's a grass edge here. So I'll hit the pages button. I like to use this for tall grass. So maybe I'll mark the whole grass edge as I'm idling down or whatever I'm doing. Give me an idea what's going on. This is the symbol I usually use for something that's a little bit bushier. If the grass itself, maybe there's milfoil, maybe there's coontail, maybe there's a little bit of everything growing in there. Maybe green is milfoil that week. And then purple is coontail and the red color is a... not red, I don't know what you want to call it. I guess that's more of a brown color. That would be more eelgrass or whatever it is. And then sometimes I'll just change it based on the year that I'm there. Maybe I've marked a whole bunch of grass, say it's on the Potomac River, and I use purple for 2017, and then I use green for 18, and I'll just write, maybe if it's milfoil, I'll write milfoil. If it's eel, I'll put a little symbol there and quick, just write eel. And you do this just so it kind of keeps you organized again. It's all about being efficient so you can go back through all your waypoints, look at it, kind of determine what's going on. If I'm marking a grass edge, for me personally, and this is all just personal, like you could make smallmouth be white if you wanted to. It doesn't really matter. But if I go to that pages button, this is what I use for a grass edge where it's that short thing. It kind of, you can see the difference there. it just looks like cut grass essentially, but I like to use that one for grass edge. That's just personally what makes sense to me. My pages button. This is what I use for boulders. So if I have a boulder there, maybe there's a whole bunch of boulders, I'll just leave it usually like that. But if it's just a single one, I'll put a 1 so I know it's one boulder. Or if it's a giant boulder, I'll actually change this color to blue. That's just something I like to do. And then it sticks out a little bit more from the rest of the waypoints. So see that one, maybe this has had just like some regular normal boulders. So I'll go with that. Let's see what else we got. We got rocks. So if I have a smaller rock, I use that guy. If I'm graphing around and I see some fish, I usually use that one. And then if I go year to year, if it's a different year, I'll put like blue, purple, pink. Just depends on what's going on. If I'm sight fishing, maybe I'm going just cruising down a bank and I see a couple fish that are 4-pounders. I'll write that down in there. 4 on maybe sand. Maybe they were sitting on, I can see up shallow. That sort of thing. Oh, something else to think about when you're doing these waypoints here. So these are when I catch the fish. If I have a fish that I shook off or I saw a bite and I didn't set the hook on it, I use white for that. Just to know that that was a bite I had. Whether you missed it or shook it off, it doesn't really matter. But you know you can go back to that if it's a tree or a stump or something out there and come back and you get a chance to catch them again. So that's good to have. Let's go. We're getting kind of crowded here. So maybe there's some stumps out here. That's going to hit the flag. Green for me, that's what I use for a lay down. I use red as stumps. Blue is a brush pile. And gray I use to mark cypress trees typically. So that kind of helps you there. What else we got? Let's see other waypoints there are. I'll mark boat ramps with that guy here. That one seems to be a pretty good symbol for that. Looks like a little boat ramp. So if there's one on the map that isn't shown, I'll go with that. We can go question mark. That's good for when I'm like looking at a place I'd never been before. So I'll drop a bunch of question marks on it. Like, oh, that point looks like it could be good. This little point here looks like it could potentially be good. Like just kind of jump around and mark a bunch of stuff like that. You can do that when you're at home before you ever get to the body of water you're fishing. Then what else we got? Oh, so after I get some bites in practice, I got like some key areas I think are going to be good during the tournament. I use that star and I'll just drop that right near the waypoints, but it just stands out. Be like, oh, that's a high percentage area. I want to make sure I hit that. And if I have a lot of areas, I'm going to be running some sort of pattern. I'll actually go in here and I'll number these 1, and then the next one will be 2. And then I know that order. I want to go from 1 to star number 2 to number 3. Lets you kind of bounce around a little bit and come up with a game plan. If I see birds, this is my bird symbol. I like to mark that just so you know about where they are. There's usually some bait or something else around them. Bait fish, same thing. Good to know. Mark that sort of thing. Maybe the most important symbol, that exclamation point. For me, if I bump something or I see something that's just under the surface, I'm going right to that exclamation point. That way I know when I'm running my boat, stay away from that area. Don't get close to it. You might actually hit, so you don't want to deal with that. And it's a good way to just kind of keep yourself aware and safe. So these are some of my favorite ways to mark some waypoints. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I look forward to talking to you again soon.